Now we're going to look at cluster and multi-stage sampling. So the idea with clusters is to get all from one. So you would use this when stratifying or simple random sample isn't practical. So basically what you're going to be doing is splitting the population into similar parts or clusters just to make the sampling more practical. So we can select one or a few clusters at random and then do a census. So we're going to get everybody in the cluster. For example, we could survey everyone who goes to B lunch. I would think that on cluster sampling, you could go A lunch, B lunch, C lunch, D lunch. Better, that's more like a cluster than a stratified, unless there's something that makes A lunch really different from D lunch. So if each cluster fairly represents a full population, it should give us an unbiased sample. So it's not the same as stratified sampling. We want to stratify to ensure that our sample represents different groups. So that would be like different grade levels. It's more, so the strata are kind of homogeneous so that each group is more like they're freshmen or sophomores. Clusters are more like they're all mixed up, but the different groups look like each other. Whereas you can definitely agree that a freshman and a senior group don't share a huge amount in common. They have some stuff in common, but not a huge amount, especially if you ask the seniors. So sometimes we use a variety of sampling methods together, and when we do that, we call that multi-stage samples when it combines several methods. And most surveys that are done by professional polling organizations use a combination of stratified and cluster as well as simple random sampling. So going back to our high-rise example for a cluster, let's say what he could do is randomly select 3 of the 30 floors and then hit all 20 apartments on each floor. That would definitely be more convenient than trying to take the elevator to all the random floors. And if the opinions are consistent from floor to floor, this would be fairly representative. The problem might occur is if, let's say, you have the penthouse as a top floor, is very different from the bottom floor. So if you leave something out that's very different, then you could get